name is Ophir Eichler, and I'm going to be talking about the one key idea from the Framing Divorce Reform, Media Morality, and the Political of Family, or policy, Politics of Family. Okay, so this is how the media frames divorce in ways that emphasizes individuals now falling in moral decline rather than focusing on broader social or economic factors. Now, instead of looking at things like changing gender roles and economic pressure and legal shifts that might contribute to divorce rates, the media tends to portray divorce as a result of personal irresponsible and selfishness or lack of commitment. Now, for example, the article did discuss the source often highlights sensual cases of infidelity and portraying divorced individuals as broken or damaged. Now, making a personal connection myself is that I've seen this play out in my own family's life. Now, my aunt and my uncle, they went through a divorce a few years ago, and the way some family members talked about it was very much in line with this media framing. Instead of acknowledging the differences, and they both just faced a lot of stress of balancing demands and raising their children and taking an emotional toll. Now, I didn't really connect emotionally on them, but you could see that it did take an emotional toll on them throughout the years because they just had a lot of unresolved conflict, and they had a lot of different factors and often assuming blame on each other. Now, some relatives whispered about my uncle's spoken lack of attention to my aunt, and that's the suggestion of how my aunt was just too independent and career focused. Now, the connection here is that the media framing of a divorce and moral falling and discussing the framing divorce reform directly influences how my family members interpreted, the reaction of my aunt and my uncle and their divorce, instead of seeing it as a complex and with multiple contributing factors. Now they fall back on simplistic narratives and individual blame and moral judgment, and this made an already, very difficult situation even more painful. And my aunt and uncle just felt judged and stigmatized, and this was all by their own family. And it was just also very preventable and more nuanced and compassionate understanding of the challenges they faced that it could have been if the situation was different, if people viewed it differently. So I think that, the idea of how family and framing divorce reform is framed, how people view it politically and family-wise, is very important to understand because, families view divorce differently, but there is an idea out there about divorce that's very negative to many people. So I hope you listened and enjoyed this video.